What?
Oh, wait. So you were saying, wait, we're live now, but you think Shannon isn't what?
Shannon's an example of a woman who's experienced narcissistic abuse. And then she went on to attract another narcissist. Okay? So she still is an annoying white woman and all of the things that are attached, but she's really someone that is an example of being in incredibly unhealthy relationships for most of her life, and she got to the point where she started abusing alcohol in order to cope and made some horrible mistakes. But the way that the women feel like it's okay to piss on her head and telling her it's raining because of the substance she chose to use to drown her sorrows, literally. It's like we've lost sight of the fact that this is someone that was in a lot of emotional turmoil, because we still carry all of these stigmas where if it's alcohol then you're a piece of crap. And I'm not
Yes.
saying it wasn't irresponsible or dangerous and all these things, but I also, if I were seeing
Oh my
somebody.
God. The way Tamra is attacking Sharon over this
Yep.
is beyond disgusting because, okay, let's say she does have an alcohol problem.
Hmm.
A lot of people have had or are currently in the throes of an alcohol problem. This is America. Everybody drinks. Let's be
Yep.
real. But
Yep.
the way Tamra is attacking her every chance she get, my God. Didn't
Yeah.
your husband have a heart issue?
She peddles weed. You know that? She's got a company called Venus CBD that started out as a CBD company, but now they have THC beverages and gummies and all of that. So, like, get out of here. You're a substance slanger yourself. Plus, not only that, but Tamara broke her foot, buck ass naked, getting blackout drunk out of a hot tub in Mexico. Tamara's the one that the season that she was let go ran off blackout drunk and hid in a bush at Vicky's party. So just because she doesn't hit walls doesn't mean she doesn't do destructive things or weird sexual things when she's naked. She practically hooked up with Bronwyn under a table when they were both shit faced. So, I want to rain on Tamara's parade just for the toe sucking shit she made me watch. I'm gonna vomit. But anyway, no, it's very, very cruel, and I don't understand. I'm like, is it okay to shit on people when they're at the lowest point of their lives because they happen to, like, utilize something that we've all stigmatized? Take away somebody's phone for 2 seconds and tell them they can't buy anything.
Mm.
Tell them that they can't find another relationship to patch up their emotions. Tell them that they can't eat. You know what I mean? Like, pick a substance. It's trying to numb yourself.
And speaking of substance, one of my new self soothing substances is nail polishes. And I just got this set of four, and this was like $17 on Amazon by Zoya. And this is their fall line or one of their fall colors. I'm going to get some more in tomorrow, but we're going to have a little bit of the cuticle hour while we talk about this hot ass mess.
And that's what it is. But it's delicious television.
It is.
Tamara looking like one of those like shrunken heads but puffed up at the same time with that surgery. She got staples in her forehead because she had her brow lifted. Did you catch that on Instagram?
Oh God, yeah, her face looked like chicken. Her face looked like uncooked chicken. It looked like uncooked chicken.
I mean, that's what it looks like regularly too, but no, it looks a little bit more like a Hirachi because those Orange County women, they like the sun too much. But shit,
I like let's start. Let's catch everybody up in case people aren't familiar with this whole scenario.
yeah, we did kind of
So,
jump in mid subject.
but I kind of like that. I kind of like that. I was like, you know what? It's something new. We've never done that before, and I hate it when people take forever with an intro. I'm like, let's jump in mid conversation. I'm like, wait, what? Who? Huh?
Hmm.
Wait, what I miss? So we have Shannon Beador, but I call her Sharon. I call her Sharon, just so you know who we're talking about. We have Shannon Beador, who used to date this man for what, 2 years?
I think so, yes. They got together pretty soon after Shannon got divorced from David Psycho Beador.
And they were, on the show together as a couple.
Yes.
And apparently Sharon was paying for everything.
Yep.
And John he didn't really seem like he liked her. Like, he seemed like he didn't like being on camera. He seemed like he didn't like her. And so then they finally break up.
Yeah. That was the last season. I want to say the first season that he was on, he was debuted on Watch What Happens Live. He was professing love for her. Everyone loved him. They thought he was the knight in shining armor. He loved all the press he got as the good one that Shannon finally got, because David Psycho Beador's posing naked in the woods with his new younger wife. Like, John loved the attention in the beginning being with Shannon, because everybody was so happy that she got away from Psycho David Beador and was happy with John Jansen, the cool guy she met at the Quiet Woman.
Oh God, the Quiet Woman is a character on this.
Quiet Woman's really fucking loud, but yes. Mm-hmm.
You better. She is.
She is.
I'm always hearing about at the Quiet Woman, the Quiet Woman. Before I leave California, I got to get down to the Quiet Woman.
She must dress like a whore. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you, me, Miss Porter Williams, the California Biffas, let's go all meet up at the Quiet Woman.
At the Quiet Woman.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have food?
They do. It's just down south from me, like 20 minutes on the freeway. We'll do it. But I just want to, we need to preface that John Jansen enjoyed being with Shannon for all the reasons he's enjoying being with Alexis Jesus Jugs Bellino. Because when it's new and fun, the press and the attitude about it, he enjoyed all of it. So then they had troubles during COVID because, let me tell you something, nobody's brought up the fact that, there's this rumor that Shannon may have tried to hit John Jansen's daughter with his car. Did you know John Jansen's son, right after Shannon was arrested himself for public intoxication and vandalism of public property?
Oh.
Yes.
So
really? Yes, that was out and about. No one brought it up on the show, but it should be talked about. John Jansen's son was arrested. He's such a stupid Chet Hanks. That's what he is. He is a white boy summer Chet Hanks, and was certainly enjoying the 6 degrees of separation of, publicity that their family was getting. And he was arrested for public intoxication and vandalism. So John can't really throw stones because that beach house is a glass house, bitches. Okay? And so his kids don't like her. She tried to have much stricter COVID rules than his children wanted to follow. There were arguments. I don't think things were going well, right? I do think Shannon was probably drinking. Sounds like John kind of turned on her. Their relationship should have been over and it wasn't. All of these things, that two things can be true, right? But Alexis also has one of the most vile first husbands on housewife history. Jim motherfucking Bellino.
He's the one that sued Sharon.
Yes, and Tamara. And Tamara. And
he got like $300,000 from him. Wait, was this the one when they said that woman's genitals smelled? Because I remember there was a lawsuit about that. Or was
that was Joanna Krupa and Brandy Glanville.
Okay.
Okay.
But how much did Tamara lose? Because Shannon said I lost $300,000. And I'm like, $300,000?
They only lost legal fees. So they went on Juicy Scoop, Heather McDonald. You want to know how, and they were doing a live show at the Irvine Improv. And something they said about Jim Bellino and Alexis pissed him the hell off. I don't even remember what they said, but they were sued and they only lost legal fees because he wouldn't let it go. Both cases were dismissed.
Oh, but they still had to pay. And I guess Jim had the kind of money where he's like, it doesn't matter to me. I'm just going to do this to piss you off.
Exactly, because yes.
Ooh. Oh, yeah, that's that Cardi B kind of, okay, you have the last word.
That's it was like, oh, I'm just going to make your life miserable. Because the misogyny in that man, if we watch the first episode that Alexis and Jim are on, Jim is the second blood clot of Bravo. Louis, Teresa's husband, is the number one hematoma, but this man is a very close second. This man is a very close second in his busted blood vessel appearance. And so, he basically told Alexis, like, he's like, you should be at home in the kitchen serving your husband and your children. And, so she doesn't have a good picker. So the fact that Alexis has chosen John is only further proof of his piece of shitness. Because Sharon picks shitty men, and so does Alexis. They have the same track record. They both have shitty ex-husbands, and now they've both chosen Johnny J.
Two sides of the same dysfunctional coin.
Yeah.
But and the fact that Alexis at 57 is not astute or intelligent enough to see that this man is using you to get back at your ex. So after John and Sharon break up, Sharon apparently asked John for $75,000. Now this is where also things get a little weird, because it's like, now you say you pay for everything, but you hit him up for 75 grand. I don't have anyone on the face of this earth I can ask for $75,000. I don't have anybody I can ask for $7,500 unless it's y'all for a GoFundMe. Let's be real. You asked him for but he didn't pay for nothing. So I'm like, now hold on. Where did the audacity to ask him for 75 grand come from? If he ain't never paid for nothing, if he's cheap and you already seem to be paying for the penis, how did we get from you ain't paying for nothing to 75 grand? Can you help me out with that, Erin? Am I right to be confused?
Well, yes, I have to say, because even the answers that I have heard in her interviews, it's all a little weird. Now, I wonder if part of that reason is because she is addressing, because they are in active litigation. She went on Jeff Lewis, and I think like Us Weekly, I saw her on a few interviews, is my point, saying that in the beginning, she did absolutely pay for everything, trips, upgrades, all of that. Vicky Gunvalson also attests to having seen her do that. At some point during their relationship, she got to a point where she was short on money, paying all for college tuitions and all of the things, right? And she really had a mishap with overfilling her face. She did like something like 6 vials of Sculptra or some filler that made her look horrific, which didn't help about how she was already looking to begin with. And it was a rough period. Rough period.
Oh, okay. Now it's making sense.
Yeah. So she was in dire need of having all that shit cut out of her face and neck. Honestly, she'll admit it. Like, she even jokes that the plastic surgeon's like, I can't believe how much shit I've cut out of here. And she looked at him and she was like, I think he was like, well, what are you gonna do? You could get a loan or whatever. And she looked at him and she's like, well, you have money. And that's kind of verbatim like how she's described it, which feels a little weird to me. Like,
You put him on the spot.
yeah, I don't know, whatever agreement they had or
See, but
whatever.
also, this is why I don't deal with cheap men. Unless, like, I want him to try to buy my love a little bit. Don't try to
Yeah.
buy it completely, but understand it can be leased. It can be leased. Understand, paying for shit gets the pussy wet. Understand it and abide by it.
Well, when you're in a Shannon position, when you're a middle-aged, mediocre white woman,
I'm sorry, you are a white woman in America in Orange County. You can find a man that'll spend something on you. Maybe she needs to look up in age. Get somebody Tom Girardi's age. Get you a coot with some coin.
yeah, I mean, listen, I think this is his MO, truly. I do think the love bombing is true. I think he comes in and loves to say all the things you want to hear, and Alexis is dumber than a box of hair. So she bought it even faster than Shannon did. Shannon was a broken woman. Shannon doesn't want to be alone. That's the kind of person that'll attract a narcissist for sure. Alexis, Alexis was on below deck with the fiance that she had before she met John, and they were so annoying with their PDA that like everyone on their episode, including the friends they went with, were complaining about how much PDA Alexis and her former fiance were doling out to everybody. So Alexis is a dumbass from the jump. She can't be without a man. She gets totally all in. Her track record sucks. So that's why she's with someone like that. What I think is really gross is the way that Alexa Shannon broke down and offered John the full amount. We saw that on the last episode, right? He
And she,
won't.
but now a lot of people feel like it was blackmail
Yeah,
because
I
it
do
was,
too.
if you don't pay me this 75,000 right now, I'm going to release these videos and ruin your life. Now, the videos, apparently Shannon was almost running over John's daughter.
I don't, that's what the rumor is, but here's the thing. John's kids sound like they kind of suck too. There's Mr. I'm getting arrested for. So, what if Shannon's daughter or John's daughter was in Shannon's face and like attacking her? Apparently, they've been seen getting in an argument at the Quiet Woman. So,
Oh God.
I I just, yeah, like I think that there's a lot that's pulled out of context, and I think that John is playing really dirty because Shannon has said publicly
Dirty
she offered to pay him the full amount, but he refused to sign a non-disclosure agreement, which is typical in a settlement in a lawsuit.
Yep.
So you want her to publicly um exonerate your character because you said that's why the gloves are off, according to Alexis, your dumbass mouthpiece, that you want her to exonerate your character because it's been ruined. That's why you're suing. That's why you're going to toe all of that crap, right? But the second that she's willing to pay you back what you say you're owed and sign an agreement that'll make her shut up about you too, you refuse to take it because you want to keep going and keep peeling back the layers of a period of time that Shannon has already admitted was the darkest of her life. And she's now moved past it. And maybe some of us feel like judgy about the way she's moving past it. But last time I looked, Shannon hasn't had another alcohol related incident.
Yeah.
So basically, how is she failing at her recovery? I know that we all think that maybe she should take a break from the drinking. Sure. But has she had any other alcohol related incidents?
She is not.
None that we know of. So then how is she not successfully moved on? I mean, listen, her walk with alcohol is her choice. As long as she ain't getting in the car and putting a key in it, then I mean, listen, we've all watched people go through really rough times. Remember when Luann literally wiggled
Yeah.
out a handcuff? Remember, she was going nuts because of that cuckoo cokehead at the Regency, Tom. I'm not saying that we as women don't need to take responsibility for our behavior, but
Men go through it too. Any human in love can be
thank
put
you.
through it. Any human, men be acting foolish. Hell, Irv Gotti just had a stroke after Ashani gave birth. The love of his life really moved on.
Oh,
He stroked out. Let's talk about it. Men do it
listen.
too. Men do it to anybody in love, any human in love, any human in love. You will find yourself, especially when they ain't loving you back the way you want them to.
Oh, and look what he did. Like right before he's getting married, he's getting so drunk, he's making out with women, and Bethany got the pictures, and you're being outed on TV. I think if the housewives have shown us anything, what they've shown us is the sad and humiliating fact that a toxic relationship will bring you to your knees. And it will also very, very likely, this is commonly known, out of the public eye, that narcissistic abuse, toxic relationships, everybody turns to substances, whether it be food, alcohol, drugs, shopping, like anything. That's just an earmark of a miserable human being, right? Now, typically when you go to that level, maybe it's a good idea to never go there with that substance again because you don't have control. But Luann has gone back to having a drink on occasion. We have other people. I'm not saying that's necessarily the right thing to do, but I certainly don't think it gives Tamara the right to literally sit on a very short horse and spit in Shannon's face. The way that she's degrading her and making fun of her is disgusting. And I hope to God that I'm never so cruel when a fellow human being is literally suffering.
Also, Tamra has been very mean to Jen about her financial situation, and it's like, now hold on. This woman was married,
Yep.
stay at home, had four children. I remixed it because it's a full-time mother. One is a full-time job. Bronx, I can barely keep up with. 4 children. And you gonna get mad at her, you're not paying your rent. My husband was supposed to be paying my rent. You need to get a job. I'm on Housewives of Beverly Hills. I'm in line to get smacked. What the fuck? What, like, the way there, it's so unrealistic. It's like, get a job. What the fuck am I doing right now? I done got myself one of the highest paying jobs I could get with no education and no real job skills. The fuck?
I just yell back at Tamara, get a storyline that's your own. Tell me to get a job, you get a storyline, bitch, because she's like Giselle, but just much nastier. Because she is much more of that like Karen aggressive, let me speak to your manager. She's even beyond that. She's just like the way that Tamara, like, listen, I love that part where Tamara screams, because it's my opinion, which by the way was Jordan was at Alexis Bellino. But otherwise Tamara is really annoying and always has been. And part of the reason why she got fired is because she like burns her own gears out with the audience. So I don't really know what she thinks is, I mean, this is a giant backlash. This is not going well. Now,
it really, really is not, because people, it's very anti, it's women being anti-women. And we, the audience, are seeing through it. And though Sharon may not be everybody's favorite, Sharon may be an annoying white woman, but she don't deserve this. She can be annoying. That's fine.
No.
That's okay. But the way that Alexis and John are going after her.
Yeah. I don't want to watch a woman break. And like, literally, you're suing her. You're so happy. Alexis can't shut up about your love life. Y'all are she got on the show. She has, like, this woman literally is being crapped on by everyone because we all have this really weird, holier than thou attitude about alcohol abuse, just like we do about fat people. And like, all of our real ugliness is coming out in the way that we decide what is okay, what is worthy of being sympathetic about versus what is worthy about being, covered in shame. And it's like, either way, Shannon was in a horrible place, made some horrible choices, thankfully, didn't hurt anyone but herself. And yet, everyone wants to sit here when Tamara's literally saying the nastiest shit to her, and she goes, "Hey, take a moment. What's she doing? Getting a drink?" Someone needs to slap her mouth. Like,
Ooh.
because, and let me tell you something, nobody's bringing up the fact that her daughter wants nothing to do with her except Vicky in interviews offline.
Now everybody's mentioning it. Now,
I know.
and this is the gag though. Sydney doesn't want to be mentioned on the show. Vicky said, "Okay, bitch, you gonna come after my friend." No, and I gotta give Crone Gunvalson some credit on this. I gotta give Crone Gunvalson some credit. Everybody needs a friend like Crone Gunvalson, and that's the type of friend I am. I'm like, no, I'm saying this from my heart. No, I'm gonna cut this bitch out. I'm gonna call you everything but a child of God. I'm gonna mention it all. I'm gonna get Sydney on the line. Tell me why you don't talk to that piece of shit. We want to know.
Listen, everybody skewered Vicky. Everyone did when she was with Brooks, faking cancer, doing all, because she's been there. So Vicky Crone can say, "Bitch, we all know each other's skeletons. We should be united, not divided." And, and listen, the way Tamara is spitting on Shannon while she is on flames, it makes you open season for your motherhood, lady, because it doesn't get more vulnerable than what Shannon's going through. And why? Because she picked up a drink. It's okay to literally push her to the brink of what any human being could endure as she's trying to pick up the pieces. But no, we can't talk about how you apparently did shit with your own daughter that's so egregious she wants nothing to do with you. Listen, the one that you drag on camera barely looks like she likes
and ain't her son in and out of jail?
No, he is a weird little. Which one? She has two of them. Spencer was on the show a little bit. He said no, thank you. After he was 18, and then the oldest one, he's a Trumper. I think Tamara might be too, but he's very kind of vocal in his. He was married for a minute. I think they had some domestic issues they had to work out. She was a winner. She was a mother of 3 with a gun shop up north. That they had a kid and now whatever. But here's the funny part: he's actually dating Vicky Gunvalson's son's ex-girlfriend.
How incestuous.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's very 6 degrees. It's like, really, you're gonna reality son hop? But all right. Let me tell you, Vicky's son helps run her insurance company. He's living all over Europe. She definitely downgraded by getting with Tamara's little Huckleberry, but it's all good.
Huckleberry.
Because he likes to wear a cowboy hat.
That's a good one. I'm gonna use that. Oh, what a Huckleberry.
Yeah, it's that kind of cowboy. I'm not really from the South, white boy, but I'm gonna lean into that because that's the only way I'm mildly attractive. No, Tamara is got trailer park written all over her background. So,
I want to know, do you think that Alexis and now John clearly is fiending for the spotlight. I feel like Alexis will follow in Luann's footsteps, and now that you're engaged, you're going to go through with this wedding. No matter what, no matter if he starts cheating on you loud and publicly, which he probably will. And I can also see other Orange County's hussies just getting ready to get in his DMs.
Ugh. He looks like that eagle from the Muppets. That blue one.
I know what you're talking about. So please, this is what this nail polish looks like when it's on.
That's very nice. That complements your hands.
I was like, okay, this is.
It's worn like fall because we are in the early,
Yes, it's very autumnal. Mm-hmm. I could wear this with a black sweater and and a burnt orange scarf with a touch of gold.
Yes. I think that John found himself with Shannon and really enjoyed all of the fun public attention he got, especially when he was the great guy that Shannon was dating after her horrible marriage, right? I think he got addicted to that. I think he likes getting preferential treatment around town. I think he likes getting stopped. I think he likes taking pictures. I think he likes all the perks. I think that he got really upset when things went super downhill with him and Shannon, and that Shannon was honestly doing what everybody said, which was having too much to drink and airing out her relationship dirty laundry as the relationship degraded, right? And she wanted to hang on because she didn't want to be alone, and John wanted to hang on because
he wants to be
what?
on the show.
Right?
And also Shannon was a free ride. And so I think John's like,
Yeah.
all right, now I see how I'm really going to get some money out of these heifers. I'm going to get on once I'm going to marry you, and then it's our money. And then I'll make sure I get a percentage from being on the show. John's cheap. And this is why I can't stand a cheap man, why you got to stay away from a cheap man. When the second a man asks you for your wallet, for any,
I wouldn't marry John. Alexis has a big old fat settlement from Jim Bellino because I don't know exactly, but like she definitely got a lot from that stomach sack. And so I think that Alexis is, again, so stupid, as we can all tell just by the way that she acts, that she's gonna really believe she's truly in love with Johnny J and give up the security that she has by being Jim Bellino's ex-wife. Because see, this is very clear. Alexis has just as deep-rooted issues with men as Shannon does. I just think that Alexis is, let's just be honest, minimally more attractive. Well, she's more attractive than Shannon. She's younger. She's a little better kept up, right? So now John
more
thinks he's
pulled
got
up.
right. The implants are implanting. They always have been, which is why she has the nickname Jesus Jugs, which Tamra gave her. So, Tamra's turncoatness is very real. And that is part of the reason that Shannon and Tamra have an issue, is because Tamra decided, because the rumor was that Alexis was coming back on the show, decided to mend fences with Alexis because she was not doing so hot on the first season. She came back with how hot she was with Jen. So then she commented on the fact that Alexis got together with John, and as Shannon has already said, I was offended, which you would be, because Bellino sued the two of them. I think Shannon was shocked that Tamra would really lean into any kind of alliance with her, on top of what she was doing with John Jansen. So, and I think Tamra, who will do anything to stay on the show, it's very obvious, wanted Shannon to be more comfortable with that whole thing. And I'll also say, Tamra was not nice about Shannon's DUI from the jump. She found out about it, blabbed about it on Two Teas in a Pod with Teddy, and then hopped on a plane to Scotland. So she was never nice about this. She's been judging Shannon from the second that she got in the accident. So, I'm not saying that Shannon wasn't a sloppy drunk and didn't need to get her life together. Like, listen, haven't we all been in moments where we have not been a good version of ourselves? And God forbid our friends do this kind of shit instead of say to us, you're not doing well, but I love you and I'm going to help you get it together. And because I'm your friend, I'm going to trust that if you say this is how you're going to do it and you're showing me signs of recovery, then I don't get to dictate what that looks like. Because as long as you're not hurting yourself or anyone else, I may have my opinions about how you're living your life. But again, I ask you, has Shannon had another alcohol-related incident? She has not. So, and besides, how many people have a pill problem?
Huh? This is also a little gaze into the future and see plot lines from a distance. We have Karen and her DUI plot line this season.
Oh, yes.
And so now we're seeing in real time how Tamra's needling is playing
Hey,
out. Giselle,
oh,
I hope you didn't follow suit.
Judgy McJudgerson, the lady that likes to take something and wear it on her back. I mean, she did wear Free Uncle Ben on a shirt. Wasn't it Free Uncle Ben? Something with Uncle Ben.
Yep.
She called that man rice on a box. She might as well have called Karen Aunt Jemima.
Mm.
I do hope that they take some notes because this is just me, I'm personally tired of the way that we like to villainize some things and not others. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's make none of us take shots when some of the women look like they've gone far too far with the Ozempic. We aren't, sitting there thin shaming people, anorexic shaming. We're not pill shaming. I mean, how many of those bitches are on something by a doctor and it's really not, do they really need it? Probably not. There are plenty of doctors especially once you're wealthy, that are willing to prescribe you what you need in any city.
Michael Jackson was getting propofol at the Heezy.
I mean, there was a doctor
Propofol at the Heezy.
putting a
Propro.
man under
Heezy.
anesthetic every night. How did we get here?
I mean, he had an anesthesiologist at the Heezy.
Mm-hmm.
He said, when it's time to go to sleep, it's like count backwards.
Jesus.
Talk
I
about,
mean,
I'm tired of insomnia. Boop.
Matthew Perry. Hello.
Oh, Lord. And they
So,
now it's interesting too, because like with Michael K. Williams, who sadly passed a couple years ago from an overdose, and he was very open with his struggles with addiction. But now it's like, babe, you can't do anything with powder. You bet marijuana. You better be pro marijuana, because anything, if you powders, pills, and potions, everything seems to be laced with fentanyl, and it's horrific. But now with Matthew, they didn't caught the ketamine queen. They've caught all these people, and now like Hollywood's scared, and it's like, yeah, you can't kill famous people. They're going to figure it out. Like back when cocaine was pure, if you overdose, like you was really doing too much. Like,
right.
not to make fun of it, but it was like, it wasn't just like, oh, I was, it's just a little cocaine. I mean, like I can get help for that. It's not, no, you can't get help for fentanyl. There's no help.
Well, and again, I need to reiterate, Tamra Judge has a company that sells THC, the hypocrisy. Okay? So stop being judgmental about people's substance use. You sell to people, and I'm certain you don't qualify whether or not they have a healthy relationship with THC.
Mm-hmm. And you drink. And also if this happened to me, I wouldn't, you don't know what you would do.
You threw a napkin in Jen's face. You were shit-faced drunk at that hotel. We've watched you over and over get crazy and naked. I'm sorry, nobody gives you a key, but you're really fast to take your clothes off.
Okay, now we tried these next two. Now this one I really like. This one went on good. I'm not that big of a fan. I'm going to try to apply the grape again, but the grape is kind of splotchy. It didn't go on the way I wanted.
It looks a little Halloween-y or like ghouly.
But these two, this citrus, I'm enjoying this citrus. I don't know if it's necessarily fall, but I love a good citrus, coral, grapefruit moment, and it's sparkling too.
Yeah. Yeah, well, coral is like a sherbet version of orange.
But that grape disappointed me.
Yeah, it was a little like, undead.
John Jansen looks like the Michael Myers mask. He does.
Mm-hmm. No, he looks like a melted version of a good-looking man.
I will also say this is a wonderful setup for a fabulous, dare I say, 4-part reunion.
Yeah, let me contemplate that for a moment because we haven't even gotten to the storyline shift, folks.
Exactly,
Where,
because that's right, because then we've got Ryan and this whole
yeah,
bookie deal. So yeah, I
yeah,
feel like a four-parter, everybody's in the
and
fucking hot seat.
the gambling scandal.
The gathering scandals, because we've got the fact that like half the girls on the cast are ready to take Alexis and John Jansen's head off. And we know John Jansen is going to be at this reunion because, and I bet, is he going to wear those Ferragamo shoes? I wonder, because now everybody's like, everywhere he goes, he's wearing Shannon Beador's, or the shoes that fit Shannon Beador gave him.
Can you imagine having to go through all your credit card statements after you're trying to recover from drinking too much and you're trying to recover from a DUI and you're blowing a breathalyzer in your car and you're being made fun of, you're being called a drunk, you're being sued, you are, being having to be subjected to Alexis Bellino talk about John Jansen and their sex life. Then you have to go through all your credit card statements and highlight every time you dropped a dime on your past relationship to prove that the quid pro quo was equitable.
Wow.
Yeah. Listen, you can
And they
dislike.
weren't even married.
Mm-mm.
And they weren't even married, and you're still in fucking court? And honestly, John Jansen, how small is your penis? How
Well, the
small is
rumor is it's big. That's what the
because
rumor
I'm
is.
sorry,
But
any man worth his salt would be like, yeah, he might say, yeah, I gave her $75,000 for that new face. Thank God someone needed to, but I didn't ask for a penny, as a gentleman wouldn't.
or settle and then shut the fuck up. You won. You're happy and in love.
My male pride would not allow me to like and ask it, like if I dated women to ask a what, now a man, no, you give me my money, but a what, no, because I know you make 75 cents to my dollar. No. I would be too embarrassed, because I would also say that's going to scare off all the good women.
Or take the money and sit down and shut up. Because if that's what it's truly about, if it's being offered to you, then you'll take it.
I feel like, I'm sorry, a 67-year-old grown gray ass man don't come up off $75,000 for his girlfriend of 2 years and then ask for it back. She got the game fucked up. He got the game fucked up.
I mean, I don't really know. I don't think we've gotten exactly whatever kind of agreement they had between one another. You know what I mean? But like, thank you. Shannon has been a pebble in many shoes, but I think anyone would feel for someone in this position. If you don't feel for Shannon at all in this position, I don't think Shannon should be on TV anymore because she's lost the whole point of, you know what I mean? Like, we're not
I would
supposed to.
say this is also, in a way, this is good though. This
Yeah.
has made Shannon likable. Shannon is now the underdog that we're rooting for, because we can really identify with her, where it's like we have all had some moments where,
Yep.
the hits of life just kept on coming. Where it
Yep.
was like one after another. And now your ex is going to do this. It's like, okay, you moved on. Moving on and proposing to her is fuck you enough. It's enough. But now you got to be like, oh, I want you to pay for it. And then also, as Alexis, I would be like, sir, I'm gonna need you to calm down. You too worried about this, but it's my pussy you're eating now. You need to be focused. Your lips on my labia, not on shit and Beador. Okay. Alexis should be checking him. Alexis should be like, I don't want you to take $75,000 from her and pay for my engagement ring. And that's what he did. He took that money and bought her the engagement ring. He ain't paid for nothing for you, Alexis. All you've gotten is a few dinners at the Loud Heifer and a ring Shannon paid for. And the fact that gets your twat to twitching means something's wrong with you. Something is wrong with Alexis Bellino. The fact that she is getting such pleasure out of torturing Shannon.
Alexis is a very dumb woman. If we haven't gathered that by now, I mean, then you
And
might be in
also
for.
hateful. But
Yes.
ignorant people are hateful. So that makes sense.
she's that worst kind of white woman Christian, truly. Because look at her, and she's especially when she was on before, she was incredibly religious, but like very stupid and very judgmental. So it's the kind of Christian white woman that you hate. Um, but I also too, it's like I genuinely hope that I'm not the kind of person that would see someone going through some of the lowest moments of their life and and kick them while they're down. Because unless they were truly an enemy, and then I would be like, I don't like this person at all. I'm going to kick them while they're down. But even then, deep down, I kind of know in my heart that kicking any human being while they're truly down when you don't need to only brings back kind of some karma for yourself. And I
Exactly.
don't,
It's one of those I can sit back and be like, ooh, well, life you. There ain't nothing I can do. Baby,
yeah.
that was on you. You had that
And
one coming. My
just
hands
like,
clean. I'll sit back and watch with a little popcorn, maybe some goldfish.
mhm. And if we also too, yeah, Shannon needed to clean up her life. Clearly, she was going from one shitty relationship to the next. Her and John were broken up, but they weren't. They had gotten back together, but they weren't telling anyone. And I think it was because clearly he was not treating her well, but she was hanging on to this really bad relationship, and the two of them were drinking too much, and it was misery, right? But then a tragic thing happened, and we're watching someone try to pick up the pieces. And if we're not rooting for her to do so, then what are we doing watching? That's fine if we're watching because we want to watch a train wreck and this woman completely disintegrate. But I certainly don't think the people that are supposed you can't claim to be her friend if that's what you're doing, Tamara. You can't claim to be anything but an enemy. Another thing too, if John and Alexis were really smart, they would recover his reputation by leading by example. Just go be happy and in love and leave Shannon the F alone. That will restore your reputation with everyone. It'll just make Shannon look like the drunk who couldn't let you go. But now you've given us so much fuel. We all hate you more than we hate what Shannon did.
Exactly. It's like we really see it put everything into focus where it's like,
I
okay,
mean,
Shannon is a broken woman who
yep.
had too much to drink. It
Yeah.
was wrong. She's being punished for a crime. Thank God no one was hurt. But
Mm-hmm.
I can forgive her.
He
Who has
also heard.
say this? Who hasn't driven drunk? Raise your hand.
That's why I stay behind this camera. That's why I don't get on camera because listen, no, I'm just kidding. No, that's not the reason why. But you know what I mean. Judge not lest ye be judged. Honestly.
It's like we've all had a moment where we might not have, we probably shouldn't have been behind the wheel, especially those of us in our 40s before Uber. Before there, now we have Uber where there's an easy option where there is no excuse. Before, the way America was set up, if you didn't live in New York or along the corridor, you live in Cal, you're just aiming your car at people. Everybody get the drunk train home where it's like, okay, you sober, you more sober than me, you follow me home. So they keep on my ass to keep the police. How many of us? How many?
It's DUIs happen to good people, to people make mistakes. People make all kinds of mistakes. People cheat, people have DUIs, people have gambling addictions, people have spend too much in shopping, people lose it at work and lose their jobs. People, there's all sorts of levels of mistakes that show someone is going through a rough time in their life that and they are humiliated and ashamed of their behavior. But to continue to shame that person who's trying to rebuild does not help them restore themselves back to a better person. What's this
Now,
one?
this is a beautiful feminine chocolate nail. And I say it's feminine because this nail color belongs to a woman who has enough outfits to go with it. This woman has many different colors in her closet. This woman is a businesswoman. This is a nail. This is an office manicure. This is an office nail color. She's a CEO. She's high on the sales force. She is that girl. She is in professional. She is a lawyer. I don't know if a doctor would wear this. I could definitely see a lawyer wearing this because it's fashionable, but it's business. This is a northeastern corridor nail that goes fabulous with all the fall colors from burnt orange to all of your khakis. This is a woman who has several different Burberry trench coats. I am a fan of this woman. I don't think I'm grown enough to wear this nail polish yet. The woman who wears this nail polish is about 45, 47 years old with a wardrobe that is ferocious. She shops for sport and she has a vacation home. And she changes her nail polish when she leaves to go to her vacation home. That is the woman that wears this polish. I've met her before, and I aspire to be her.
And maybe she has a DUI, maybe she doesn't.
She has one from when she was 22 and made a mistake.
Right? Yeah. And listen, here's another thing. I want people to stop going, well, her age, because how have we watched how many housewives get to a point where, and ladies in our 40s and 50s, and even those of us in the 30s, we notice when the relationship with alcohol changes. Okay, when our bodies tell us, guess what? It ain't gonna be like it used to. And then
I was gonna say, as you get older, the way your body reacts to alcohol changes.
2-day hangover,
so like them 2 drinks that you used to be able to have and get home safe. Now, baby, you got to have a spritzer. A spritzer.
Oh my God. You got to spritz the spritzer. Okay. And like, also, when you're on a high level stress show, like these ladies are, who are used to getting together and consuming alcohol order to make it possible for them to confront each other, for them to combat each other, for them to be in their bathing suits, for them to be outrageous. I mean, let's not forget, let's pay attention. I mean, Emily gets aggressive as hell when she drinks. She's already threatened to kill Kelly Dodd, and she like literally chews everybody out and has to apologize. Give Emily, who's in her, I think, mid-40s, give her 10 years, and she could easily be Shannon. Because we've watched, look at Dorinda. Dorinda went from fun, let me tell you something, I made it nice, to then have another drink. I don't have a mugshot. And we're all like, whoa, Dorinda.
It's like, it's just a matter of time, darling.
Well, yeah,
it's sheer luck.
When Sonia hit the table, we all went, whoa, the glass table on vacation in Florida. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Sonia doesn't have a DUI because Sonia's smart enough not to drive.
Right. Sonia's in New York. She doesn't, I mean, but she just humiliated herself on Andy's Watch What Happens Live 15-year anniversary.
And Luann was able to get arrested in Palm Beach and she wasn't even driving. Nope. Let's talk about that. Now that's drunk and belligerent.
And then slipped out of the handcuffs.
And also, let's talk about this. How many of us have hit things while we're dead sober? I've hit things while I was sober. Hell, I ran my bicycle into a parked car just because I wasn't looking where I was going. 2 nice little old ladies peeled me off the car and walked me home, told my mom what happened. They said he was a bit dazed. We just wanted to make sure he knew where he lived. He hit that car pretty hard. We just wanted to make sure he was all right. And then I ended up hanging out with them. Like I used to then like just go by their house and hang out with them because I was the last of the generation that could do that, where you would just like make friends with like random old ladies in your neighborhood and they would invite you in for Kool-Aid and pasta salad and they would get a kick out of having you over and they would introduce you to their grandkids. Like, oh, what the world used to be.
So that's not what we're seeing. I think what the hardest part about the situation is that, look, it's undeniable that Shannon made a big mistake, but we've gotten into why is this self-righteous attitude about the actual mistake that she made it's like, okay, now we're just gonna shit all over you because you made a poor choice with your coping mechanisms.
I think there's two things at play here. One, the ladies don't have like this is the plot line, so they're all trying to
Sure.
have a feeding frenzy. Like they had a feeding frenzy on Jen last year and this year. Like they really like. I'm sorry, but as women who've all been through divorces or understand like, hey, we're a family, and if he walked out, it would be an issue. Or if he died and the life insurance didn't pay out, it would be an issue. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like to harass anybody that has a family and a partner not pulling their weight, it like that's so, like especially when you understand what that would be. That's so like I'm single as hell. I get it, but it's like you're going after her like one like she did something to you, which is
Right.
very interesting. So I feel like some of it is a plot line, but I think some of it is they genuinely. I think Tamara is just a hateful being. But I also think some of them just don't like Shannon and they want her off the show. And I also think they think we get rid of an OG, we can kind of feed on that salary.
I do think Shannon's been tough the last couple years. She's been easy to be unlikable, and she said some foul ass shit about Gina when Gina got her DUI. So look, I'm not saying this isn't a hugely humbling moment for Shannon, but she is taking it pretty well, and she's trying. And if she's going to show a better version of herself, then I'm here for that. I'm here for the redemption story. Otherwise, why the hell are we watching these people with any sort of affection?
And I have to say, Gina, although that confessional look, and I'm glad she came on
Ooh,
TikTok and she was like, it was a miss.
yep,
I understand. I get
yep,
it. I saw
yep,
it too. And
yep.
honestly, I'm like, what? Like, really? It's like, girl, put the green screen in your damn house. Like, rent a camera crew. You have the money now, and see what the shit looks like sitting down.
So one of the producers should have been like, "This isn't the look," because they
I would have
approved.
said, no, go
Yeah,
get that aside. You need to size that two sizes up.
they
Because what
they.
one these
Mm-hmm.
and two, I don't understand this about these women.
Well,
This is what bothers me about these on all of the housewives. I'm talking to all of you. Buy everything you have a size up. And here's why. And I don't know why you heifers don't understand this after 18 seasons. When you put the mic pack in the back of your dress, it makes it shrink a size and it no longer fits how it looked in the dressing room. Try shit on with the mic pack. I'm tired. I'm
I,
sorry. I remember in 1989, Connie Chung was on TV in a beautiful white blouse. And my grandmother was like, oh my God, she has a white mic. And she did. She had a white mic. And like back in the 80s, they didn't make white mics. So you had to have that shit special ordered, specially made. And my grandma was like, now that style, she said, I'm not going to have a microphone looking like a bug on my beautiful white blouse. I'm going to get a white mic to have it blend in beautifully. I don't know why you have this after all these years, don't understand why your clothing doesn't look as good as it does or as good as it's supposed to. It's because when you put a mic pack in the back of that dress, it shrinks it a size because of the way it pulls it up and out.
I think that they, ever since Gina had the god awful extensions and like ruined her own hair, when she bleached it platinum, I think that they kind of like making it her storyline that she has these mishaps. I think sometimes they let you make a fool of yourself on purpose to suit them production.
They do. And honestly, I feel like, you know what? Like, it's kind of like American Idol with the bad singers. It's like, we're over that. We're over that. Let's actually showcase some wealth and some style. If you want to have a silly confessional look like Sheree with the storm wig or Nene with that scarecrow wig, where it's like, oh no, I'm gonna give these people something to laugh at, then that's fine. That's fine. But no, you're leaning into it. But some of this stuff, I'm like, come on now.
Well,
But
Gina
also,
doesn't have wealth or style, so you can't give her what she does.
I need to come up with some type of business where it's like, okay, we're going to figure out how to tailor these dresses where like there's a mic pack pouch. so that way it doesn't alter the way the dress fits. Because that's what it is. That's really what it is. That's why a lot of these dresses, when it's like, that looks off, why is that too tight? It's because they put that mic pack in there and it really does change it to size.
Yeah. I mean, I think what you were gonna say is that despite the outfit mishaps, Gina's really been the most reasonable one about the Shannon situation.
That, yes, thank you for getting me back on point. Her grace about that has
Mm-hmm.
made her very likable. She was like, I'm not going to attack her. She attacked me. She talked about
Mm-hmm.
my child in CPS, but I'm not
Mm-hmm.
going to do that to her because I'm above that. I fly above. I fly above.
She's also said at this, remember, she said to Shannon, yeah, I had a drinking problem. I stopped drinking. It was off camera. Remember, let's not forget, Tinsley has a mugshot from a drunken altercation with her significant other that had made her infamous before she went on Housewives. But nobody was counting her glasses while she was on the show. So it's like we're all very, like, we can overlook
Leah.
these things.
Leah
Oh,
was encouraged to drink. And honestly, when Leah was sober, she was awful. So it's
I
like, would you
hated
rather
it.
have me
Yeah. I
drink?
mean, I don't want to encourage any alcoholics to get back on the wagon, but she was only likable when she was a drunk.
And also,
Let's just be
and
real.
I will say, as an adult who knows they have an issue with the substance, for you to choose, because you were doing fine on your own. Nobody, forced you in any way to be on Real Housewives. This isn't like any kind of a regular job, like where it's like, oh, well, I shouldn't have, like, you went after this position to be in a situation where everyone has their own weird relationship with alcohol, and part of the theme of the show is drinking too much at some of the dinners and parties.
Leah is such an annoying white woman. It's such an embarrassment. Like the way that she's tried to be a victim in all of this is just insane to me. She's such a weird anomaly of like, are you for real in every sense of the word? Not usually a Shannon fan. Yes.
I will also say, watching Alexis and John's relationship fall
uh,
apart as
will
quickly
be.
as it came together is going to be hilarious, because
Yeah.
no one is on their side and
Nope.
everyone is telling Alexis, like, girl, these are a lot of red flags from John.
Yep.
Where if you marry him, your settlement may very well be on the line. California is a community property state.
And what are we
You can
trying to
prenup
prove
all
at
you
this
want.
point, John? What
And
are we
two,
trying? Go ahead.
oh no, I'm sorry, go on.
Oh, I was just gonna say, what are like? It is truly blackmailing at this point and extortion because it's like, what does the video further prove about Shannon? We know she had a drinking problem. We know that. We know that there were probably very unhealthy behaviors that but like to threaten with the like, what more do you need? Do you need this woman annihilated? Like, what are your list of demands? You want to be able to say whatever you want about her. You want to be able to have your relationship with Alexis in public in everybody's face. You want your money back. You want her to go around town and tell everybody that she lied and you were a perfect gentleman and you were great. Like, is that what it is? Like, what? Because all of those demands, which you seem to be having, prove that you're a piece of shit.
And also Alexis. John Jansen, in the words of Maya Angelou, has shown you who he is.
Thank
If you
you.
think you're going to marry this man and he's not going to be viciously litigious, you're out of your rabbit mind. If he's
Rabbit
willing to
mind.
do this to a woman that was his girlfriend, imagine how cunning and conniving he will be to his wife. He'll marry you for the money, and he likes boating, honey. Don't end up like Natalie Wood.
Oh,
Don't end up a Lifetime movie. And John Jett, I mean, I'm sorry, he's a white man, so fits the description of someone that would kill his wife.
yeah. Who the heck was that dude? He's another bloated eagle looking dude. Like, Alexis, yes, is very true. I mean, Alexis, well, and see, that's the thing. Alexis has shown throughout history, her time on the show, that she's a weak minded woman that picks a-hole men. So, for her to pick him and be so in love only speaks to his damaged character. Like I said, the thing that Shannon and Alexis have in common is their poor choice in men.
Mm. It really does speak to Alexis's character, though, and Shannon wasn't even like Shannon hurts herself. She's not trying to hurt other people.
Mm-hmm.
It's annoying, but she doesn't try
Yeah.
to hurt other people. Alexis wants to hurt Shannon, and it's like, okay, you're already prettier than her, so now
Yeah.
you just look like a mean girl. Like, why do you want to twist the knife in Shannon on
Yeah.
television? Don't you have anything else to do with your life?
And you got the guy. And he didn't give a shit about Shannon. Everybody could tell at the end that he didn't. And
Ooh.
whatever weird stuff they were doing to hang on to each other, we all remember the last reunion where everybody was saying, "Are you and John Jansen together?" And she's like, "No," but they were. That's not a sign of a healthy situation going on.
I think too, this proves Alexis doesn't want John Jansen. I think that for Alexis to partake in this and not really want a healthy relationship, I think this shows how unhealed she is, but also she don't want him. She just wants to hurt Shannon. And so she's like, "Oh, I've got somebody that wants to do this with me." And so now that's what their whole relationship is based on. And once Shannon's gone, then they're going to turn on each other.
Alexis is one of those dumb bimbo women that rah-rahs for her dude and clearly has major daddy issues, major men issues. Which one is this?
Now, I tried to do a giraffe speckle with
Oh,
the purple nail polish on the gold. We're going to try it again, but I think that might actually be cute. If I could just get like cute little dots of purple on the gold.
mm-hmm.
Kwanzaa tea. Oh, I've got my Kwanzaa manicure already. Yes. Oh, I couldn't imagine being in a relationship with someone that is this obsessed with their ex and then joining in.
It Yeah, I mean, I'm very curious to see how everybody reacts at the reunion. I'm very curious to see oh gosh, I think there's going to be more mudslinging. Um I just I think that Alexis wanted to be back on the show more than anything. I think also though, because especially having seen Alexis the way she behaved in her other relationships, is that she's extremely codependent. And I think what she's dumb enough to think is that she's so much of a better fit for John, and that Shannon is just such an awful person that she brought out the worst in John, which is absolutely not the case. And I think we'll all look forward to the downfall of that relationship once the pressure of all of this attention has died down and they're just left with one another.
Exactly, because right now it's, ooh, they're together, and honestly, like the back, like I think they thought that people would be pro them, and I think John thought he was going to get that same good press that he got when he got with Shannon, and it's like, no, that's not
I
what this is.
I
You
think they're
left
just
Shannon worse than you found her. You weren't that good
yeah.
guy. Proven that. And instead of being able to break up with her like a gentleman and just move on and fade into the background, now you're castmate hopping.
Slade fucking Smiley, but
Yep.
slimier.
God, the men in Orange County are so fucking desperate. They need a
They
reality show.
they're bad. Because look at Ryan.
I,
Dick pic
I was just
Ryan.
about to say,
Ugh.
and I was just about to say,
Yeah. No, they are. They are skeezy little, yeah, they are characters themselves. They are like Jersey, but not in a good way.
and they're like, I feel they're like the swingers of Salt Lake City, but without the religion.
Yeah, oh, they're definitely, if you come from Southern California, if I said like you would know, I'm like they give serious Huntington Beach vibes. That's kind of like the white trash of the beach towns. You know what I mean? In certain ways, like, yeah, it's hilarious. They're all it's the Ryan and Jen thing is like a very, very prime example of a situation in Orange County that you'll come across. A beautiful, very like, borderline too much work done, blonde, tiny little petite, perfect body, yoga. I think I'm all into it. Who's with a dude that, has all of the crap that Ryan has, thinking he's smooth and hot and a body and all of that, but is really like a dumbass. Yeah, that's a very common example. I think he's so short. That's another thing too. I'm like, because she's very little, and I'm like, if I ran across you in the wild, I wouldn't even look
Stop
twice.
counting out short men. As a 6'4" man who also dates men, one, for me, like, I am the tall man. So I can't look for tall men. I am the tall man. Like, if I waited around for men that were taller than me, I've dated, I think, maybe two guys that were taller than me. One
Okay.
seriously. But I've dated a lot of men shorter than me because most of the world's population is shorter than me. Let me tell you something about short men. Nothing lights a fire under a man's ass like being 5'8" and under. You want a man that gets some shit done? Get yourself a short king. Get yourself a short king. Also, as far as penises, a lot of them girthy and just as tall horizontally as they are vertically, if you catch my drift.
Yes, I just don't think we should use Ryan as an example of a short king.
No, no. If he had made his money legally, I'd have to say so, but it's not
E-
legal. So
Even the Chitete crap he was doing to her when they were first together. But you know what? Listen, if he wants to shape up because he loves the spotlight and be a good partner to her from here on out, we'll all shut up. We'll be fine. That's fine. A leopard can change his spots if he's shallow enough. But we'll just see if both Ryan and Johnny J can recover their reputations after this season.
that's never going to happen. I think one, John Jay and Alexis, their relationship was built on the hatred of a third party. So that shit will never work out. Ryan and Jennifer, I could see Jennifer holding on until the kids get through college because Jennifer is Erica Jane. She's like, look, I know how to play this game. I know how to wife. She's a gold digger who cares. Like me, a gold digger who cares.
Well, you need to start giving them some advice on how to gold dig because it's a mess down in Orange County.
Well, it all starts with research of your mark. That's really where it starts. Research of your mark. Have we seen the movie Heartbreakers with Sigourney Weaver and Jennifer Love Hewitt?
Oh God, not
I
in a
swear to God, it
long
really is
time.
like that.
Ooh.
You rent your little yacht, you go up and down, you do your property research, you find out who owns it, you find out who they are, you find out do they have children. If they have children, it's a no. That usually gets rid of a lot of them. Then also it depends on how much you want because there are some gold diggers that know how to deal with men with kids. There are some that know, okay, I know I'm not going to inherit this. I know I'm not going to inherit that. But you are going to set me up with a condo that you bought me cash outright in my name and a decent life insurance policy that the kids know is mine. They get everything else. Let's have a family meeting about it so they ain't acting like I'm stealing all their money. There are gold diggers who know how to do that and they come up well because they know I'm not getting the 500 million. I had to get in way earlier. And a lot of times that money's in a trust where ain't nobody ever going to get it. It's just certain people are going to draw from it, like Tinsley.
Right.
Like you could marry Tinsley, but because that money's in a trust, you will only benefit from that trust, and you'll probably get a lump sum payout if she dies after you've been married for so long. But other than that, you ain't gonna get access to that. Your child might.
Well, let me ask you this. Maybe a way to close this on out. We got a swimming appointment since it's hotter than the devil's backside down here in Southern California lately. Do you think Alexis is coming back next season as a full-time cast member out of this? Do we think Tamara's coming back? I do think Shannon's coming back.
I think Jen's coming back. I think Tamara's coming back. It's going to be interesting to see. I think that's going to be an after reunion decision because the audience seems to be very much not interested. Like not interested, but very like, we don't like this. We don't like how Shannon's being treated. I feel like the women are kind of beginning to rally around Shannon, where they're going to be like, I don't know if it's smart to bring her back and be her friend. I could see Tamara being like, okay, let's really lean into my devil. But I think Bravo's going to really look at how the audience feels as a whole, and it seems like we aren't here for the torture of Shannon. It's not even that we're not here for Alexis and John. That would have been interesting if they weren't trying to really stick it to Shannon.
100. Yeah, it's like you screwed yourselves with this approach. Truly.
All right, let everybody know where they can find you.
Well, if you can catch me on Instagram at psychic_ELB, says psychic E or Aaron in parentheses. If you would like to get a psychic reading, I'm giving the Biffas a friends and family discount, so just hit me up in the DMs. I also do, I join Ray Ray all day on her channel at times. We just finished up reviewing RuPaul's Drag Race, and I believe we're set to do Southern Charm when it comes back out.
Oh, well, I'm looking forward to that. And I guess we will see y'all soon for some.